Welcome back to the Marauders, everybody. Mayor Reynolds, aka Midnight Mayor, here, coming at you with another Deadrop video. Today we have an interesting topic, which is crafting in Deadrop. We don't know if crafting is planned to be in Deadrop right now, but a lot of other extraction shooters, like Marauders, for example, do have a crafting system. And we're going to talk a little bit about the potential implementation of crafting in Deadrop, which really has a whole extra element because of the potential for the blockchain marketplace for items and potential cosmetics in Deadrop. So let's talk about this while I roll some gameplay from my recent Twitch stream of Deadrop, of course. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with crafting in extraction shooters like Marauders or Escape from Tarkov, for example, in some extraction shooters, you can craft items. And in like Marauders, for example, you can craft essential items. Like you can actually craft heals to prepare to go into the lobby, to go into your raid. You can craft bullets. Sometimes you will literally have so little ammo when your stash is so limited, you may need to craft bullets because you might not have ammo to run the gun that you want to run. So you can use items, combine items, and craft those items that you need rather than go in and find them. Which brings us to a good point. The way that Deadrop's looting and inventory works right now, it works more like a battle royale game, right? Like it's totally possible to queue up naked and find the items that you need, like armor and ammo and heals, pretty quickly. You're not at a huge major, like, I'm definitely dead if I didn't bring high tier armor and a sniper rifle with an 8x scope in with you. And that's the way that cold storage, the loot density of the game, is right now. That may be subject to change. Later they may limit our stashes. Who knows, which may make crafting a thing. But there are items in the game that, you know, there's collectibles in Deadrop, obviously. But there's also other things like the obelisk, the hard drive, the hand grips, the paint cans, which are one that I will get to in a second, which obviously infer, and there's definitely going to be quests, obviously, as well, missions, to go in and find certain items and then turn them into vendors or NPCs or factions, however you want to look at it, however it's implemented, and you will get certain rewards in exchange for those things, right? So right now, the game, essentially all the loot you're going to find, most of it, other than the comics and those few collectibles that I mentioned, is stuff that you use, like guns and attachments and armor. But what if they added things like materials and cloth and alcohol and some of these things? Black Steel Bourbon, by the way, better be in the game. But anyway, I meant more like rubbing alcohol to craft heals. So if you don't find any in your match, you can craft them and take them in. Personally, I think crafting in Deadrop should be somewhat limited. I don't want to see it become a thing where we're literally crafting our bullets, crafting our meds. I like the way that the Deadrop flows right now. I like how the game is very fast paced. And I think if you make all the heals or like the normal weapon attachments and ammo more scarce, so you have to craft it, it's going to slow the game down a lot. And that's not something that I personally want to see. I know there's a lot of players that, you know, want to keep up this fast paced competitive style of play where you can play risky and not have to worry about, oh, I'm totally gonna run out of heals every 30 seconds. You can run out of heals, obviously, in Deadrop, but there's also the healing stations. So there's options. But I think you guys get what I'm saying. I would rather see like the essential items just be pretty readily available to be found in the world of Deadrop, and you not have to rely on crafting heals or ammo or things like that. So that brings me to my next point. What could we craft? And there's going to be vendors likely too that will sell stuff, I would imagine. Most extraction shooters have vendors that you can buy stuff from. So you may be able to buy ammo, you may be able to buy meds. But okay, so if we're not crafting like the essentials, the survival items, so to speak, the moment-to-moment gameplay features like heals and ammo, what can you craft? In my opinion, there should be cosmetic type items that you can craft through going into the world, finding items. So let's start simple with the paint cans, right? Let's say you can craft your own paint jobs by combining colors. Let's say you get the red and the green can. Maybe you can combine them to craft the purple one, or make some different colors that are not just, you know, readily available. There is a purple, I think, in the game right now. I think it's called Purple Rain. But you get what I'm saying. There could be simple things like that. Like, okay, I can craft this skin by going and finding this, and this. And then maybe it takes some time. You really got to hunt down these things or accomplish certain missions to get some of these materials and go find this thing in the game world. And then now I can craft this weapon skin for my rifle or whatever. This would obviously take time, right? You're not going to be able to complete these things in 30 seconds. These would be more long-term objectives or quote-unquote grinds. You know, you have to go in and find this stuff and extract with it and get this part and that part. And then there's the car, obviously, too. Will we be able to craft car parts by combining this and that? Will you be able to craft a bigger engine by going in and getting... I'm not a car guy, guys. I don't know parts of cars that well, but you know, this car part and that car part, you know, in the individual parts that comprise of the engine. I would like to see crafting elements like that, not the bare essentials that we're going to be using in the game, you know, every single match. But that brings me to my next point. Obviously, Deadrop is a game that plans to have an optional blockchain element and a marketplace. Dr. Disrespect has hinted at this with his own tweet where he said, imagine trying to extract with an item worth $160,000 on the chain. Imagine the viewer experience and the intensity that would provide. And I totally get what he's saying. Remember, Deadrop does not have a forced blockchain element. You can play the game centralized, just like any other game that you've been playing, just like Apex Legends or Valorant or Tarkov or Call of Duty or whatever, but it does have an optional blockchain element. So keep that in mind. I remind people that all the time. But now imagine being able to craft items that you could then sell on the marketplace, which would be essentially blockchain, right? So that adds a whole other element to this of what items should you be able to craft, because Deadrop and Midnight Society are handing us a very big, what I will call a privilege and an ability, right? So like you probably won't want every single item that you can own in Deadrop, from the basics to your ammo to your meds to your armor, to be on this marketplace. You're gonna want the marketplace to be high quality items, right? Like usually cosmetics, or maybe there will be really rare weapons. And I'd love to hear from people with their thoughts on that. Right now, obviously in Snapshot 5, early in the development process, the game is, in my opinion, it has a very battle royale style sandbox. But what if there was weapons, more advanced weapons that you could craft that take time for you to earn? And then obviously there's a risk to taking those weapons in, because you could, maybe they're really strong and good, but when you die, obviously you can lose it. But if you craft that weapon, you could obviously also sell it if you want to on the marketplace. And you guys now begin to see what I'm talking about. There's a variety of different options that Midnight Society can utilize here, and it's all a question of how they approach it. And you know, see, that's the thing when people talk about, a lot of people who are very anti-NFT, anti-blockchain, it's all about integration and implementation, right? Like, there's a million good ideas that are ruined by bad implementation. All the standard systems that we have now in games have been done well, and they've been done poorly, right? Loot boxes can be done very well and very fairly and in an exciting manner, and they can be done poorly. Battle passes, same thing. You can have a really good high-value battle pass, or you can have one that's not very good. And you know, you can do any which system. And if you notice, gamers complain about virtually every single system that there is, because it's not the system itself that's the problem. It's usually the implementation of that and the fairness of it and the value of it, which is why I choose to believe that Midnight Society can be truly the first game that really implements blockchain and NFTs properly. But crafting, if it exists in Deadrop, again, speculatory on my part, will play an element into that. And if you can craft items that you can then sell on the blockchain, there's huge potential for that, right? Like, I crafted this item, I crafted this gun, or I crafted this skin, and it took me 20 days to gather all the materials for this thing. Will Midnight Society allow us to do that? Will the balance of the game support that? There's a lot of questions, and I'd like to hear from everybody in the comments. What do you guys think about crafting in Deadrop? Would you like to see it? If you do want to see it, how would you like to see it implemented? Because there's a number of different ways Midnight Society can go. And most extraction shooters, to my knowledge, that I have played, have some level of crafting. And it's just an interesting question to ask. So with that said, guys, thanks for watching. Check out all the other content on the channel, including my live action Deadrop short. I'm in the process of writing the sequel right now. If you want more Deadrop and Midnight Society content, make sure you're subscribed to this channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Mayor Reynolds, Midnight Mayor, out. So if you go to fitbutters.com, again, I'm now partnered with FitButters, got birthday cake right here. You can see all their products right online. If you use my link, you will help us out directly. Here you go. There's a monster cookie flavor right on the front page, but then you've got almond, cashew, and peanut butters. They've got gluten-free versions, vegan versions. There's caramel apple pie. Dude, there's tons of stuff. The flavors are out of this world. There's a Girl Scout cookie version. There's a peanut butter cup version, birthday cake, brownie batter. There's so much good stuff here. So try it out. Use my link. Support us. Get some really good flavored carrot cake. Take your peanut butter game to the next level. Take your nutrition game to the next level. And make sure it's packed with flavor. Because tell them the mayor told you.